What's up? This is Andrew from The Change, playing through a Gibson Les Paul 1960 reissue, Vox AC15, the CC1. This is a review of the Line 6 FM4 filter modulator. Really cool pedal. I think it's kind of underrated and kind of given some bad reviews sometimes. I think because people don't really know what they're getting when they get this. It's not the type of pedal that you're going to be able to use for every song, but it is a pedal that is kind of exclusive. You're not really going to be able to get too many sounds unless you have this pedal. It has some very unique sounds to it. I'm going to start with just letting you hear my clean tone. Apologize, I know it's not in tune. So anyway, with this pedal, just like a lot of the Line 6 pedals, on this this pot over here, you have all of your different filters that you could potentially use. On these, over here on the far right, you have your mix. That's going to be between your wet and your dry signal. These actually change. You have frequency, Q, speed, and mode. Speed usually is speed, but not all the time. But all of these will correlate to these stickers, which if you don't have these stickers, you need to get a print off of them or something, because it is very pertinent to knowing how to use this pedal. So let's just go ahead and start with how to download a preset or how to install a preset. You have 4 banks here to put presets in. So let's just say right here, you go to whatever it is that you want to add on here. So let's say I want to use, I'm going to go synth string, and then you can find synth string on here, and there it is. F controls, or frequency, does control the frequency. W, or the Q is going to control the attack, looks like. Speed is this is going to be the modulation speed, and over here's the pitch. Note with a lot of this synth stuff, this is usually a pitch. So I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. Hitting a C note. So know that if it's sounding really weird, you can kind of gate this back, this mix. So you have a little bit of the dry signal in there. And that way you can kind of make sure that, like, let's just say you wanted to put a third or a fifth on top of it. You could actually, kind of hear where it's at. That way when you're actually playing, it's not just playing something totally different. So that's important to know with the synth stuff. Then I can get my modulation speed. How quickly do I want this to modulate? You can kind of hear it there, bang it back. And then the width. I'm sorry, that was attack time. And then lastly, our frequency. Once you've got what you want, you can see that this is flashing. That means this bank is engaged, but it is not saved. If you want to save that setting, hold it down till it blinks. It flashes, and then it's saved. You can turn it off. I can turn all these wherever I want. When I turn that back on, it's the same thing that I saved. With that being said, as soon as you touch something here, you'll notice that it starts flashing again. That's because I've made a change to the preset. Once again, it's not saved unless I hold that down. So that is how it works with all of the filters, all saving, all banks, all presets. That's all of them. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the functions and uses of this pedal. One of the things that this has, which is a pretty cool thing, it has some of these synth sounds. I'm going to turn that mix up a little bit. Just so you can hear how it tracks. It tracks well. It does a great job. If you get going too fast, or if you're not really intentional about the notes that you're hitting, sometimes it'll have a little bit of problems tracking. Just make sure if you hit a note, you want to hit that note, because it can, if you get too many tones going on, it can get a little confused, have a little trouble tracking. But very good at just single note tracking and following the speed with that. So it also has some of this feature I like. This is called Seeker. And you kind of hear it, almost like, just like the name says, like the note is seeking somewhere to go. So really cool effect. You can dial in or dial out on essentially how many steps you want it to take. Between 2 and 9 is what's on the preset. So that's a really cool function. I'm also going to show you the thumper, the throbber, and kind of show you that what that's useful for. You can kind of hear how it just, you know, like it says, throbs in and out of the sound. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bank. Alright, what I have is my line 6, I'm just going to run that through a loop and let that go on and on. I'm going to kind of show you something that's kind of cool you can use this for. Also, going to be turning on a distortion just to give it a little bit something more. So that kind of shows you the throbber. Once again, not something you're probably going to use on every song, but a really cool effect. And you know, if you're interested in doing more dubstep stuff, or if you have a beat delay on, the only tricky thing is with the speed, it can be kind of tricky to get dialed back into the tempo you need to be at. So if you're going to keep a tempo, maybe have a loop station or something that you can always have that as the underlying thing. But that's some of the purposes and functions that I use the FM4 pedal for. It is really useful, but you got to know what you're buying. So anyway, that is it. I hope it's useful, and you guys take care.